everybody, how's it going? Welcome back to Copper Jacket TV. So we've got something big that we need to talk about today. So thanks to a FOIA request by the DOJ, it has been discovered that the ATF and the FBI have been spying on California firearms owners for the California Department of Justice and law enforcement and reporting back to them over a California penal code banning so-called assault weapons. So the federal government is actively helping California uphold its so-called assault weapons ban. Let's talk about what's going on here. Now, real quick before we get started, if you support the Second Amendment and you support what we're doing here with the First Amendment, make sure you hit that subscribe button. It's free. It only takes a second, but it really does help us out here quite a bit. And it lets the powers that be know that you guys want to see content like this so we can stick around for a little bit longer. So with that being said, thank you to everybody who subscribes. Okay, so let's go and talk about what's going on here and what was exposed by the DOJ through that Freedom of Information Act request. So what was exposed was a system. It's a system backed by NICS that's run by the ATF and the FBI that allows California law enforcement and the California DOJ to spy on Californians out of state activity. So again, this is information that is going to be provided by the FBI and the ATF in order to enforce a California penal code. This penal code is Penal Code 30600, and it pertains to so-called quote-unquote assault weapons. This will tell California about whether or not you're transferring or manufacturing or purchasing anything related to these penal codes. So again, the FBI and the ATF are relaying information about you back to California. Now I'm going to show you images of that system here in just a second so you can see what kind of information they're asking for and what penal codes the federal government is actively helping California enforce. But one thing you have to keep in mind here is that this is an unconstitutional state level law. It has nothing to do with the federal government. There is no ban like this on the federal level. That means that the federal government is helping California enforce an unconstitutional firearms ban. That's what we have in front of us here. Now, this isn't something that was created under the current administration. This was a FOIA request by the DOJ. That information takes a long time to actually get back. And so this was created under a previous administration. However, it seems like it's currently active and still happening as of today. So you guys need to share this with as many people as you know so that we can make a big of a stink about this as we can. Okay, so here's a look at the first page right here. You can see on the top left, it says U.S. Department of Justice, Federal Bureau of Investigation, Criminal Justice Information Services Division. Now, this is all run through the NICS system. Again, a federal system run by the FBI. This should have nothing to do with California's ban. So basically what would happen here is that the California Department of Justice or law enforcement would have to fill out this questionnaire, and this questionnaire would then get emailed back to the FBI so that they can then process it and use the NICS system to monitor you and your purchases while you're out of state. So it says right here in this highlighted section that the DOJ highlighted, it says, if the identified subject attempts to purchase a firearm, the requester will be notified. So basically, if you attempt to purchase a firearm that falls within the penal code that I'm going to show you on the next page, then you're going to have that information sent back to that law enforcement or the DOJ in California. Now, this next page is asking for personal identifying information, but it's also showing the penal codes that the federal government is going to help California enforce. And one of those penal codes, again, is 30600, which has to do with California's ban. So it says, please list by statute or regulation all applicable violations or potential violation of manufacture, sell, transfer, etc. of assault weapons, 30600A penal code, a state offense. And they also have penal code 52509, which is a felony in the state of California, and 30605, again, another state, California state offense, and then 52510, again, a felony, a state level unconstitutional offense. So you can see right there that the federal government, through the Department of Justice, the ATF, the FBI, they're all involved here, is helping California monitor Californians' out-of-state activity and then reporting it back to California to enforce a California state law. Now, to my knowledge, and I'm not an attorney, this should not be considered legal advice whatsoever, but to my knowledge, if you leave the state of California, let's say you come to my state, which is Nevada, you can still get one of those. They're not banned here. They're not banned on the federal level, so you can get one. You can still use it here. California likes to make it their business if you bring it back, but while you're here, it's perfectly legal, perfectly fine. So you can do what you want with it. Again, it's not until you cross back through that state line that you cross into this whole nother dimension of unconstitutional laws. So why California would want to know what you're doing in another state that doesn't have the same laws as California is beyond me. But again, the federal government is assisting them in getting that information and again, giving it back to them. So again, this is nuts. This is absolutely out of control. And the only way that we're going to stop this is if we make a big enough stink about it that the existing administration does something to stop what's happening here. Because there shouldn't be any type of database using a federal system, the NICS system through the FBI, that allows the collection of that type of data on citizens that are no longer in your state. If you're out of state, California shouldn't know what you're doing. I mean, that's the bottom line, right? It's not until you're in California that you are in their jurisdiction. If you're outside of their jurisdiction, they shouldn't have any access to the information on what you're doing over there. But apparently they have. Apparently they've been able to get that information this whole time. And so I wanted to share that with you. I wanted to make you guys aware of it. And I think more people need to be aware of it as well. It is just another example of extreme overreach and it needs to stop. So again, that was great that the GOA, they had that FOIA request. They got this information and they're spreading it out there. I'm helping them to do that through our First Amendment rights. And hopefully you guys will share this information as well and let more and more people know about it because it needs to stop. Thank you all very much for watching. I really do appreciate it. Please like, subscribe, and you guys have a great day.